Hi empaths, welcome back to my channel and back to Journey Through the Tarot. We're talking about our time with the Ace of Pentacles and introducing the history, symbolism, and divination of the Two of Pentacles. This journey is inspired by Dirty and Divine, a transformative journey through tarot by Alice B. Grist. She spent a day with each card. We're spending a week. We're getting a lot of our information from one of my tarot teachers, Robert M. Place. His book, The Tarot, History, Symbolism, and Divination. And we're working with the Rider-Waite deck, the Rider Tarot deck, and the Waite-Smith symbolism of this deck. It looks like this. If you need any of those items, they're available in my Amazon store, linked below in the description. Okay, that was a little rusty because I decided I needed, first of all, a week of rest. And I really thought Ace of Pentacles, I needed some extra time with this suit, with the first card of this suit, Ace of Pentacles. The first day after introducing the Ace of Pentacles, I booked a new client and got a donation. Like it already felt like, whoa, new financial beginning, you're not kidding. And I just felt like I wanted to really spend as much time as I could with that. Plus I needed a rest. Talking about the earth element, I had to honor the needs of my body. I was very tired, frazzled. The weather is warming here where I'm at in Pennsylvania, and that affects me. And so I've been feeling a little frazzled, burnt out, tired. And I get headaches as the temperature warms up, and I sort of adjust to when do I turn the heat off and turn the air on, sort of thing. So I was just adjusting there and spending more time with the Ace of Pentacles. I wanted to have more of that energy. It's a new beginning, right? It's symbolic of the earth element, and it can be just a little refresher, and offer a new beginning in the material world, engagement, solid new beginning, earth element, gift or offer from the universe. And Ace is a beginning, perfect contentment, felicity, ecstasy, also speedy intelligence, gold. New material start, a fresh financial approach. And that really speaks to me because I also did a lot of looking at expenses and cutting off things. I also was looking at, I was reading about marketing and the way certain products and the market is set up to make us feel like we're not enough, we don't have enough. We have, to sort of play on this fear of missing out. And, well, you're not going to buy an anti-wrinkle cream if you're okay with aging. So let's make you feel, imbalanced about that. Let's make you insecure about your flaws so that you feel like you have to invest in that. And so I started just thinking, where is that coming into play for me? And how can I guard against that more and take matters into my own hands and have more control? I think that's also to do with the earth element. So I started looking at and for me, it's about not knowing enough. I always feel like I'm a preparer. That's very earth. I have an earth style. So it illuminated some of those things for me. As a performer and actress, I never felt rehearsed enough. I felt like I loved the preparation phase. I want to prepare more. I feel like I need more preparation. That lends itself to perfectionism. That's a result of trauma. Or at least being conditioned in from a young age that performance is what's rewarded and what makes you good enough. So I think I shared a meme about that today from a therapist's account on Instagram talking about trauma and where some of these like overachieving tendencies, perfectionism, where do they stem from? And it's how we were conditioned from a young age. So I definitely started seeing that and deciding, is this mine? Whose is this? Why did I take this on? And can I shed this? Am I ready to let this go? Is it time to live life yet? Or am I still preparing for something? You know what I mean? Like, you have to decide. And it also started becoming clear to me this week that everything's a negotiation. And that's not a skill we're taught. Particularly, I wasn't, as a young girl, as a woman, I think the expectations of what I was to become, I guess, wasn't considered. And I think that, boundaries and speaking up and communication and asking for what you need wasn't a strong point of anyone in my family, really. So that's something that I'm learning. And certainly at my job, that's something that I have to work with. So I'm being conditioned. I'm learning that now. And learning what's valuable. That's another thing I worked through this week. During my time with the ACE of Pentacles, what is valuable? What are people willing to pay for? What's supportive for people? What's valuable to me? And where do I want to invest my time, my money, my life force, my goals, right? My intentions. And I have to choose more wisely, maybe, and not as impulsively. And working with my vortex with that too is like, sometimes I can't predict, right? I will get played on emotionally, like the fear of missing out on information that could bring it all together for me. This could take my practice to the new level. I could get even better results with people and then be worth more money. And how could I miss out on that? I can't let myself miss out on that. And I do get played that way. And invest in things, and just looking at the things I've invested in, I'm starting to learn I've really figured out what's right for me and what isn't, and just stick with the things that work. And then you can also look at current research and things and develop your own stuff. Like, when you're irritated, when you're sitting in a class and you're irritated, it's because you don't belong there. You've outworn your welcome. Or if the teacher isn't really excited that you're there, they're probably thinking, why are you in this class? What are you doing? It's clear that you think you should be teaching your own class. So go do that. Like, what are you doing? Or if a teacher feels, threatened by your experience or whatever, you're not doing anyone any favors by playing short, like playing yourself short. That is not the right saying. I butchered that. You're not doing yourself any favors or anyone else any favors by playing small. It's just not working. So start valuing yourself. That's what came in these past couple of weeks. I felt like I did really great work this week, and it wasn't like I put so much effort in. I just got done interviewing one of my mentors, Shelley Poovey, for the Healing Conversations video for this week. And it was a great conversation, and it wasn't perfect. There were things that happened. The lighting got weird, and it didn't go exactly as planned in some ways, but it was perfect for what it was. It was great. Like, I feel like there's so much good information in there, and I'm excited to share it. And we used her account so that we wouldn't have a time limit. And so it was set up to sort of film and speaker mode, while I like to see both people so we can see responses and reactions that aren't verbal. And she had it set for speaker view. And so you're only going to see the speaker. I haven't seen the footage yet. And so that was something that I didn't think to set up ahead of time. It was something I missed. So there were things that weren't perfect, but there were times where I felt like I should have articulated that better. And in the earth element, in the earth suit, I have a lot of earth in my astrological chart. So perfectionism and really preparing, and, it does feel like that's important. And I might have an exacerbation of earth. I think maybe that's what I'm figuring out. And how can I put this into balance? Which will keep you in fear, right? It'll keep you stuck. It'll keep you in fear. You won't move forward. A lot of constriction in the body. I have been feeling that this week. I've been feeling like I want more money. I need more money at work for what I'm investing time-wise, and for being better at my job than probably other people, just having more life experience, more work experience in service, and feeling like it's a bit unfair to be paid the same for people that sort of mess things up, don't have the same level of excellence and ability to navigate people because I've worked so hard, and prepared myself in so many different ways. I'm starting to feel a little resentful. So I feel like I have to sort of speak up on that. Also the feeling of like working with a client and feeling like it's effortless on my part doesn't mean I'm not worth the pay. It's not about the effort I put in. That's something that came up in the conversation I was just talking about that I had with Shelly, my mentor. It's not about the effort. It's about the results. Particularly, if you're a performer, it's definitely not about the effort. It's about, like, people don't want to see you working. They want it to appear effortless, even if it's an illusion. And as a healer, it's not about how hard you've worked. It's about the result you're getting. People want the results, the perceived value that you're bringing. And that doesn't equate to effort. And I think that was a weird, irrational association I was making in my mind. And that sort of came to the surface this week, and it was like, I think I can release this. That's huge for me because I feel like there's so many things in life that I worked so hard at, and I felt slighted that I wasn't compensated, or I didn't get the gig, or whatever it was. That's not the reward of hard work. You know what I mean? Hard work and effort isn't rewarded. Like I look back at jobs and I think, well, when I was on the front lines managing and dealing with all of the complaints and things, there were people that, and of course other positions came with their own hardships, but they were definitely more desired because they were protected from like all of that interaction. Not that they didn't come with their own stressors, but it's sort of like, definitely, other positions that are compensated more highly, and I'm speaking in kind of abstract terms because I just kind of don't want to reveal what I'm talking about, but it's sort of like, if you're committing long term, maybe for a longer term, maybe we'll invest in you more financially. Doesn't mean that you're putting in more effort, navigating the highs and lows and ups and downs of every interaction for the company. I'm also noticing, like, if your product isn't great, if you don't have excellence around what you're putting out there, you have to really invest in customer service to make up for it. Because the people that have to then deal with the people that you're attracting or have to really know what they're doing, be good, and be able to talk their way out of things. It's really crazy. So value was huge this week, looking at value. What is valuable and what value am I bringing? Where am I leaking resources to things that I'm not even really utilizing, that it's like a fear of missing out on something, or an illusion that I'm buying into, right? Or a manipulation or a lie that I'm buying into. I had to look at that. Also, my mentor's an earth sign. She has a lot of earth in her chart. So I think that's interesting. Shelley. So working with the earth element there, I feel very grounded right now after, tuning in that conversation. We talked about the arts and healing arts, performing arts and healing arts, which are two things I really value and cherish. Interestingly, I got a message earlier today that there was a package waiting for me at work. And I was like, what is that? And then I remembered I had a customer on the phone say, I have to give you something. You were so good to me. You really helped me. I insist on sending you something. And I'm just like, okay. I felt like so cornered. So I did give the work address for it to be sent there. And I regret doing that because my manager was like, you have a package here. It's like, oh God, that just makes me seem so like I don't know what I'm doing, right? Or why would you do that? So I feel bad about that. But I just didn't know how to navigate that in the moment. I was probably just so exhausted mentally because it just takes so much mental energy, that job. But that was sort of like an offering, right? A customer sending me a package. Oh Lord, I don't know what I was thinking. I could have said no. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why it went that way. It must have been her energy and I was weak from just a long work week. That's how I feel. I feel just so defeated by the end of the work week. I'm so tired. It's hard to have energetic defenses. I have to work on it every single day. And this week I was tired. I felt tired. I felt exhausted. I felt a little sad that I didn't have any videos for the channel, because that's something that brings me joy. I like sharing the work. I like sharing what I'm doing, having an interesting video to share. Checking in with the journey through the tarot and seeing what we're doing with the card. I actually enjoy that and sharing that information. So I felt a little down not having that. But I wanted more time, as I said, and I just, I was very exhausted. What else happened this week? These past couple of weeks, I shared probably my favorite episode of my podcast with Radio Play Podcast on redheads. I felt like it was like just my favorite thing we've done so far. I just felt like it was so aligned, and the timing and the dynamics, the energy dynamics we had a special guest, David Shoup, who my friend Walter connected me with, his podcast co-host from Global Gag Podcast. And he came on and we talked about like redheaded problems. And I can think of so many more things that I just didn't add, but it wasn't about the information. It was about like the comedy, right? So I just felt like there was so much comedy gold in that episode, right? And that's what the Ace of Pentacles can represent as well. It's gold, like comedy gold. So I definitely felt that way in that episode. The timing was great. The dynamics were good. The things that were said were funny. it was one of my favorite things we've done. I signed up for something I really value. I signed up for my comedy teacher, Scott Dickers, who's the founder of The Onion. He came out with a class about comedy writing. I think it's how to write funny. And I signed up for that this week. I invested in that. And I think it was open enrollment for a limited time. Again, playing on limiters. Fear of missing out. But I did. I was like, I have to sign up for that. He's brilliant. He believes you can teach these things. And I think I have a natural ability, but I'd love to enhance the skills. I love study. I love like crafting things and anything with the arts, anything with healing work. I just love that. Being well studied and really being able to pick apart and make something a science, basically. Make something that's maybe hard to understand into a science for myself so I can replicate it. Same with like healing work with a client. We're walking into the unknown, but we need to have tangible results. Otherwise, they're never going to come back, right? So yeah, we're working with something that's maybe abstract, but if there's no tangible result, there's no value. So we're refining something. So I thought that was interesting. Trying to think of what else came up this week. Really trying to figure out what will work with that dynamic with me and my co-host. What's really valuable there. And we hit 500 downloads today. So this morning we hit 500 podcast downloads on overall platforms, apart from YouTube views, just like downloads of the audio files on the different platforms we're on. And that was exciting. We celebrated that. Because I think we have 11 episodes so far. So that's pretty good. We're excited about that. Trying to figure out how to move it forward, what's the best dynamic. And my best friend, I think, had a meeting with an agent, and he was excited about new beginnings there and feeling valued by her. There were other people that communicated to me, and I was like, oh, that's an Ace of Pentacles thing, but I don't quite recall exactly all of it, everything that happened, but you know who you are if you watch the series. So if you want, share in the comments about your experience there. I feel great about being in the Pentacle suit. I think this is going to be really helpful, healing, right? Like, I do have a lot of earth in my chart. However, embodiment is something that I do need to consistently be mindful about, because I love floating up and out. I'm an empath. I'm sure you relate. If you relate as an empath as well, I love floating up and out. Pentacles are medicine. This suit's going to be really helpful as far as looking at finances, earning more money. We had Business Alchemy Masters program meeting last night, and that's where the whole like effort doesn't equate to income. Like, you got to drop that. Like, I had an astrologer tell me I came into this life thinking I really wanted to earn everything. I had to work really hard at everything, and I just had this idea I wanted to earn it for some reason. And I finally felt like I was ready to sort of just like take that off, like drop that, like, no, that actually doesn't make sense. And while I knew that logically, it's different to actually embody it, live that way, Like, I still put in so much effort at everything, and sometimes effort isn't what's appreciated or what's valued. Like, maybe look at, right? And I think that's something where you are constantly focused. The inner critic's constantly focused on your weaknesses instead of thinking, what are you strong at? What are your strengths? Why aren't you celebrating that and enhancing that? Why are you going for the things you're weak at? Like, I think that, like, this is part of self-mastery for me, is that thinking I need to focus on being great at everything or perfecting everything. It's like, what if you took the things you were really great at and outsourced other things? Like, why do you have to? And that was one of the things on the meme, right, that I saw about being rewarded for performance from a young age. It's like, you really had to work for that love, work for that attention. And I think that can also just be the trauma of a firstborn. You know what I mean? When the attention's sort of taken away and you kind of have to work for it. Like, it was given and then it was taken away because there was a younger child that was born. I think that can be the plight of the firstborn to a certain extent. It's like, if you never really had it, you probably wouldn't know what to miss. But if you had all the attention for a long time, if you were a cute little redhead that was kind of funny and people thought you were magical, and then all of a sudden there's a new baby and all the attention goes there, then you're like, wait a minute. And I think that's probably part of what made me a performer, perhaps. I don't know. I also love art, so who knows. But I definitely think that was what made me an overachiever, a perfectionist, and independent was the thing I was thinking of. Like, I can do it all alone, right? Or people pleasing. I don't need any help, like a control freak, you know? I definitely saw that tendency come up. That can be an earth element thing, earth element exacerbation. I definitely felt like my controlling tendencies coming up, particularly with projects and things. And I had to put it in check. Breathe through it. My patience was tested a lot this week in different areas. And I think I had set out to sort of work on patience, cultivating more. And you know what? The universe delivers. So I definitely had opportunities to work on that. Wasn't successful a lot of the times, but you know, those irritations, those things that kind of rub you the wrong way, that's what polishes you. That's what I'm trying to, that's the outcome, that's the outlook I'm trying to have here, is like, okay, well, each little rub and irritation is helping to create that diamond or pearl, I don't know. Try to find the silver lining there. So I think it was worthwhile spending that time with the Ace of Coins, or Pentacles. I really needed that time to really put it in perspective and integrate it more fully, have more experiences. So let me know what your experiences were with the Ace. Let's move on to the history, symbolism, and divination of the Two of Pentacles. So this is what Robert Place has to say about the Two of Pentacles. In the Tarot of Marseille, the Two of Coins has a lemniscate-like banner with the maker's name written on it, wrapped around the two coins. Here it becomes an actual lemniscate, and the coins, or pentacles, are held in the hands of a juggler jumping from one foot to another in a kind of dance. Again, he is on a stage like a performer. In the background, two ships sail on a turbulent sea, echoing the up and down position of the two coins and the juggler's feet. This card represents gaiety in the face of hardship and the ability to get by with little resources by juggling our funds. Okay, interesting. Interesting that came up this week as we were transitioning in. And then what might it mean if this comes up in a reading? A person who is juggling, trying to juggle people, emotions, or home and work life balance. A young man in the act of dancing has a pentacle in either hand, and they are joined by that endless cord, which is like the number 8 reversed. It is represented as a card of gaiety, recreation, and its connections, which is the subject of the design, but it is read also as news and messages in writing, such as obstacles, agitation, trouble, embroilment. And Alice B. Grist's intuitive meaning, getting your priorities in order, paying attention to detail and creating balance. The options laid ahead of you may not be so different from one another. This in itself causes confusion and friction, yet these are just feelings. Those decisions that lay ahead are identikit versions of life. Either way, you are likely to get where you don't know you are going anyway. And then looking at the Biddy Tarot's meaning for the Two of Pentacles. Multiple priorities, time management, prioritization, adaptability. When the Two of Pentacles appears in a tarot reading, it is safe to say you are juggling your priorities, roles, and responsibilities. For example, you may be a working parent or a general manager of a business, an administrative assistant in a busy office, or someone who works multiple jobs. In the upright position, this card notes you are doing an excellent job of balancing these different priorities, and you can take on whatever life throws at you. But this too reminds you that the line between coping with these demands and losing control is thin. You need to manage your time, energy, and resources carefully so you do not lose your balance. The Two of Pentacles often appears when you are busy, rushing from one thing to the next, with little downtime in between. You may tell yourself that you haven't got enough time or you're in a rush. However, remember that you don't have to be busy to get things done. Sometimes taking a break is the most productive thing you can do. Similarly, the Two of Pentacles can appear when you are getting caught up in the day-to-day demands and losing sight of the bigger picture. If this resonates, ask yourself, what life do I want? And how can I reorganize my schedule to create the life I desire? The Two of Pentacles invites you to manage your time and priorities carefully. Your workload is high right now. And to get everything done, you need to stay focused and productive. You may benefit from a to-do list, better calendar management, and a stricter schedule. You may even enlist the support of an assistant or business coach to help you make the right changes. Basic time management is crucial to your ability to juggle these various priorities and keep your head above water. This card also reminds you to pay special attention to your general administration, including paying bills, managing finances, staying on top of your commitments, and maintaining your diary. Be careful that you do not miss important deadlines, meetings, and other obligations. This card calls your awareness to the concept of balance in those parts of your life where you don't have it, and those parts of your life where you have it and those where you don't. While you can strive for equilibrium, nothing ever stays in perfect harmony. For example, stabilizing your work and family commitments sounds fantastic, but in reality, your family might be more high priority one week and work the next. So when the Two of Pentacles appears in a tarot reading, see it as a reminder to be patient, flexible, and adaptable as you try to juggle your responsibilities with your family, friends, work, finances, health, and new challenges. Be ready to swap around activities or accommodate last-minute requests. And know that if you are succeeding in one area of your life, it's likely you're struggling in another. That's just a part of the balancing act. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. And all right, working on balance. It's a thin line. I definitely felt that coming in. So let's integrate more deeply the Ace of Pentacles with the singing bowl, frosted crystal singing bowl, and call in, use the sound to send out an intention, to bring in synchronicities, to deepen our understanding and experience of the archetype of the Two of Pentacles. You might want to close your eyes, get in touch with your breath. Beautiful. Coming back to the room in your own time. Okay, Thanks for taking this journey with me. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're learning and integrating and self-actualizing, building some spiritual immunity here as we take the manifesting journey of the Fool. Yeah, if you need a session or would like to donate or reach out to me on other social media platforms, things like that, everything's linked in the description. Thanks for liking the video and subscribing to the channel. That's valuable to me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, Empath.